Hello, my little mathematicians. Today I'm going to help you convert between measurements. So first of all, when you're converting between different units of measurements, sometimes you need to multiply and other times you need to divide, depending upon if you're going to something that's smaller or bigger. If you're unsure of which operation you should do, then it's easiest if you just set up a proportion. Okay, and that's what I'm going to show you to do. Now, these are common measurements that you should know, like, 12 inches equal a foot, 3 feet equal a yard. We're going to provide them for you on the quiz if you ever need them, but they are just good to know. Okay, so the first one says how many inches are in 4 feet. Okay, so I want to go from inches, and the other thing I'm focusing on is feet. Okay. Well, I know that if you look up here, or hopefully you already just know, that 12 inches equal 1 foot, okay? So then depending upon what they told you, they said how many inches, so we don't know, that's what we're trying to find, are in 4 feet. And so notice how I put everything involving inches on top and everything involving feet on the bottom. These go together. 1 foot is 12 inches, and then we're trying to find how many inches are in 4 feet. Okay, now remember that you always want to go towards the direction of your unknown. So I'm going to go that way. So think to yourself, how did you go from 1 to 4? You did 1 times 4. So then I'm going to do times 4 up here. Because essentially you're creating an equivalent ratio. That's what a proportion is. And this will be equivalent to this if you multiply it by 1, which since I multiplied 4 over 4, well, any number over itself is just 1. So that's why I can do this. Okay, so 12 times 4 is 48, which means that 4 feet is equal to 48 inches. And there you go. You just figured it out. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and try to do that same logic for the next one? Okay. This time, though, we're trying to go from meters to kilometers. Okay. This is important to note that there will always be 1,000 meters in 1 kilometer. Okay, and if you didn't know it, you could have figured that out up here. Okay, and notice how for when you're going from meters to kilometers, whether it be grams to kilograms, liters to kiloliters, it's always still 1,000 of that basic measurement equals the one with the prefix of kilo. Okay, so this is the one metric unit that you know is that 1,000 meters equals 1 kilometer. And then they want to know, okay, so if you have 2.3 kilometers, then how many meters is that? Well, again, always go towards the direction of your unknown. So you did 1 times what to give you 2.3? You did times 2.3. So do times 2.3 here. Type that in. 1,000 times 2.3, you get 2,300 meters. Now, if you think that you figured it out, why don't you go ahead and try to pause the video and then try as many as you can and then unpause it and come back and check. Okay, so the next one that you're asked to do is to go from quarts to pints. Okay, well, they told us that there was 14 pints, and then they want to know how many quarts that is. So look up here, and quarts and pints is talking about liquid. So they said 1 pint, pints are on the bottom, is equal to, nope, not that. Actually, I messed up. Look, 1 pint to 2 cups, but I'm doing 1 quart to 2 pints. So actually, it should be 2 pints equal 1 quart. Okay, so now that I have that, always go towards the direction of your unknown. So go towards the direction of your unknown. And you have 2 times what is 14? 7. So do 1 times 7 and you get 7. So 7 what? Quarts, because that's what we were solving for. And that's what it asked me up here. How many quarts? Okay. The next one says how many cups are in 14 pints. So this is what I was trying to do last time, apparently. Cups to pints. And they gave me 14 pints, and we want to know how many cups that is. Well, look up here, and they said 2 cups is equal to 1 pint. So again, go towards the direction of your unknown. So I'm going to go towards direction of my unknown. And 1 times what is 14? 14. So do 2 times 14 and you get 28. 28 what? Cups, because that's what I was solving for. Okay, if you haven't done any by yourself, again, please press pause in the video and try some yourself. Okay, let's take a look at this next one. And it says that you have 4.5 miles. So we want to go with miles first. And they gave us 4.5 of those. And they're asking us how many feet that is. Okay, so we don't know how many feet that is. But if you look at the other side, you do know that 1 mile is equal to how many feet? 5,280 feet. Okay, now that you have that, I can use that to help me figure out how many feet are in 4.5 miles. So go towards the direction of your unknown. Towards the direction of your unknown. 1 times what is 4.5? 4.5. So do 5,280 times 4.5. Plug that into your calculator. And you get 1,603,800 feet. See how doing the proportion kind of takes out all the guesswork? Because I don't know about you, but I wouldn't have been able to figure that out otherwise. It's a random number. Okay. Our next one wants us to go from seconds to minutes. Well, we know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. They're asking us if you have 510 seconds, how many minutes is that? Okay. Well, go towards the direction of your unknown. Towards the direction of your unknown. And I don't know about you, but I don't know 60 times what is 510. So instead, I'm going to do cross products where, remember, if they're equal proportions, their cross products are equal. So set 60 times x equal to 1 times 510. Well, 1 times 510 is 510. And 60 times something is equal to that. So let's go ahead and divide by 60 to figure that out. Any number divided by itself is 1. 1 times x is x. And if you type in 510 divided by 60, you get 8.5. 8.5 what? Well, it was solving for minutes. So 8.5 minutes. Okay, the next one is from ounces to pounds. Well, we're trying to figure out how many pounds 100 ounces is. And if you flip it over to the other side, you look in the weight section, you'll see that 16 ounces is equal to 1 pound. So 16 ounces is 1 pound. Okay, do you know 16 times something to give you 100? Let's see, I'm going to type that into my calculator. And you have 100 divided by 16 to figure that out. Yep. Okay. So I knew that 16 times 6.25 equals 100. So let's do the same thing here. 1 times 6.25 gives you just 6.25. And that was solving for pounds. So 6.25 pounds is equal to 100 ounces. Okay, the next one says a challenge. Let's see if we can do it. All right. Okay, I'm going to start with hours. And it said 24 hours is equal to, and I actually can't go from hours to seconds, but I can go from hours to minutes and then minutes to seconds. So let's figure out how many minutes are in 24 hours. We know that 60 minutes are in 1 hour. And then I can take that answer that I get for minutes and I can go from minutes to seconds. Okay, well, go towards the direction of your unknown, towards the direction of your unknown. 1 times what is 24? But 24. So 60 times 24, type that into your calculator. You get 1440. So we know that 24 hours is equal to 1,440 minutes. We want to know how many seconds that is. But we do know that 60 seconds is equal to 1 minute. Okay. Always go towards the direction of your unknown. So go towards the direction of your unknown. And 1 times what is 1,400? But 1,400. So do 60 times 1440. And when you type that in, that number times 60 is 86400, and we are solving for seconds. So 86,400 seconds is equal to 24 hours. Okay, again, if you haven't solved any on your own, please do so. Pause the video, try them yourself, and then unpause it and check. Okay, this one says, Charlotte's recipe calls for 10 liters of milk. So you have 10 liters, and we have 10 of them. And we want to know, it's only sold in gallons, so how many gallons would you need? Okay, so if I look here, going from our units to the metric system, we know, we're talking about liquid, 1 gallon is equal to 3.8 liters. Okay, so now that we have our proportion, go towards the direction of your unknown, towards the direction of your unknown. So 3.8 times what is 10? It's a little bit tricky. I don't know how to do that. So instead, you could do cross products, right? 3.8 times that x, because those are diagonally across from each other, is equal to these cross products of 1 times 10. Well, 1 times 10 is 10. So now you need to know that 3.8 times something is 10. So divide by 3.8 so that those cancel, because anything times itself is 1. Or anything over itself is 1. And then 1 times x is x. And whatever you do to one side, you got to do the other. So now you have 10 divided by 3.8. And you get, let's see, very long number in my calculator. But on the front, it did say to round any numbers to the hundredths place if needed. So this is the tenths, this is the hundredths, okay, 2 places. So I just need to go 1 place further than the hundredths, which is that 1. Now the 1 tells the 3 to stay a 3 or go up. It tells it to go up. So my answer is it tells it to go up. It tells it to stay a 3. Because if this was a 4 below, it tells the 3 to stay whatever it is. If the numbers 5 are above, then it tells this number to go up, and it would go up to a 4. But since it fell into the 4 below category, this 3 is going to stay a 3. And what was I solving for? The gallons. So it's 2.63 gallons. Okay. The next one says that Camille found a recipe that calls for 3/4 of a pound of flour. So you have 3/4 of a pound, so pounds, and we have 3/4 of one. And her scale only measures in kilograms, so they want to know how many kilograms that is. Okay, well, we know, talking about weight, that 1 pound is 0.45 kilograms. So 0.45 kilograms is equal to 1 pound. All right, now that we have that, let's go towards the unknown, towards the unknown. How do you go from 1 to 3/4? Well, to know what 3/4 is a decimal. Hopefully some of you know it's what? 0.75. But in order to figure that out, you always take the numerator divided by the denominator, and that's going to give you what it is a decimal. So 1 times 3/4 or times 0.75 will give me that 3/4. So do the same thing here, 0.45 times 0.75, and that gives you 0.3375 kilograms. Now, technically, I would have left it like that, but it said, if needed, round it to the 100th. So let's do that. And you have the 7 tells the 3 to go up. So it's 0.34 kilograms. Personally, in my opinion, I would have kept it like that, 0.3375 kilograms. The rounding is only if it keeps going and going and going in your calculator, but just my opinion. Okay, the next one says that Mr. Lee is 150 pounds. So we're talking about pounds, and that he is 150 of them. He wants to know how many kilograms he weighs then. Okay, so how many kilograms is 150 pounds? Well, we know, looking at weight, that 0.45 kilograms is equal to 1 pound. So if you go towards the unknown, 1 times what is 150? 150. So do 0.45 times 150, and you get 67.5. So 67.5 what? Well, we were solving for kilograms. Sounds a lot better in kilograms than pounds, huh? Okay, the next one says, Miss Love is 5 feet and 7 inches tall. How tall is she in centimeters? And that's actually true. So let's see. First of all, if I'm going from inches from our system to centimeters, I either need to have them both as feet or both as inches. It's not 5 feet, 7 inches is not 5.7, because 7 inches is like 7/12 of an inch. And doesn't that just sound horrible? It truly does. So instead, let's change it all to inches. So you have 5 feet, and I want to know how many inches that is. Well, we know that 12 inches are in 1 foot. So if you go towards the unknown, 1 times 5 is 5. So 12 times 5 is 60. So 5 feet is equal to 60 inches. Plus that 7 inches, you can't forget that, means that I am 67 inches tall. Okay, so now that I know I'm 67 inches, I have it in one singular unit, I can go ahead and then convert that to figure out how tall I am in centimeters. So look up here, and we know that 2.54 centimeters is equal to 1 inch. So go towards your unknown, 1 times what is 67? 67. So then do 2.54 times 67. And you get 170.18 centimeters. And that's how tall I would be in centimeters. Okay, always double check if your answer is reasonable. So think about this way. If you are going from a larger unit to a smaller unit, there's going to be more of that smaller unit to make up that bigger unit. And then vice versa. If you're going from a smaller unit to a bigger unit, there's going to be less of that smaller unit, right? Just double check that your answers make sense and are reasonable, and that you always have these lined up that go together and these lined up that go together. So these are always, use your table or like your own found knowledge that these are equal measurements. 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. 1 mile is equal to 5,280 feet. And use that to help you figure out the missing piece there. If you got all these right, congratulations, my little mathematicians. You are now masters at converting between measurements.